Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my October book haul. I have about 27 books to talk about. I'm not even going to apologize for that. You're going to see why I have so many books because there's one particular reason why that happened. I have, however, read the majority of them. So that makes me happy, and the others are going to be read pretty quickly. We're going to dive straight into this before I have more issues with my camera because I realized I was filming with the wrong battery, the battery that likes to die after about 3 minutes. So I filmed half of this and then lost it. It's okay. I've switched the batteries over now. I know what I'm doing, apparently. I'm going to start with the review copies that I received this month. The first one is Weapon by Lynette Noni. This was sent to me by Pantera Press. I'm part of the book tour for this in early November, so I will be sharing my review of that very soon when I have read it. From Allen & Unwin, I received The Nightfire by Michael Connolly. This is book 2 in the Bosch and Ballard series. Bosch and Ballard both have their own book series or books. I can't remember if Ballard has more than one book yet. She might only have one, but this is the second book where they're both being combined, and I really like that combination because you have an older, apparently more wiser character and a younger female character. They both work for the LAPD, and you've got a real mentor-mentee relationship going on, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this and seeing what happens next. Also from Allen & Unwin, I received The Wind in the Wall by Sally Gardner and Ravina Kai. This is obviously a children's picture book. I can't remember all that much about it. I did request it and there must have been a reason why I did it, aside from the fact that it is absolutely stunning. The tagline on the back says, "Be careful what you wish for." And I'm looking forward to reading this as part of the Believeathon in November and finding out exactly what's going on, and you will hear about it as soon as I've read it. From my subscription boxes, I have received Faker by Sarah Smith. This is an adult contemporary romance. It has the fabulous illustrated covers that are going around at the moment. I've heard mixed things about this, but I'm very eager to see where I stand on it, so I'll be reading this very soon as well. One of my favourite reads from October was definitely Serpent and Dove. This came in my Fairy Loot box. It has a stunning cover. This is a young adult fantasy read, new adult fantasy / urban fantasy. It's only not urban fantasy. It's the only reason it's not urban fantasy is because it's not set in our world, but it actually reads more urban fantasy than standard fantasy, so we'll go with it, but it is definitely not YA. It is a enemies to lovers, marriage of convenience story, and it is absolutely wonderful. I've talked about it recently, so you can check out my review for it. This is easily the best book that I've ever received in a Fairy Loot box, so yay. I loved it. Moving on to the books that I purchased that are kids or middle grade related. The first one was Rise of the Mythics, The Golden Unicorn by Ando. This is the first book in his new series. My kids are obsessed with Ando, so I've read that. That's gone into the classroom. I would have been in big trouble if I hadn't taken that in pretty quickly because they're obsessed with it, and I have not seen the book since I took it into the classroom because they keep passing it around to each other and it ends up in book boxes, so I'll see it again at the end of the year apparently. Another book that I've taken into the classroom is Franklin and Luna and the Book of Fairy Tales by Jen Campbell. This is a picture book. It is the third book in the Franklin and Luna series. It is absolutely adorable and delightful. I've started reading the series with the kids in the classroom. We haven't quite got up to this book yet, but I'll be reading it with them very soon. I also picked up Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This is the second book in the Cassidy Blake series. The first one was set, I think, in Scotland, but this one is set in Paris, and it is all about ghost hunting with a character who can see ghosts, and I'm looking forward to picking this up in November. I also bought a copy of The Girl with Space in Her Heart by Lara Williamson. This is a middle grade book. I don't know anything about it except that I loved the cover, because I'm a total cover buy person, and also that it talks about space in the title, and I love anything to do with space. So even if it's a contemporary story about a girl who loves thinking about space, I'm totally down for that. Moving on to my YA books, I purchased a copy of Angel Mage by Garth Nix. I loved the Sabriel series when I was in my teens. I haven't reread it in a long time. I know this is his new fantasy book, and I know that I am not the biggest fantasy reader, but this one has angels in it, so it was always going to happen. But it is huge, so I don't know when I'm going to read it. Darn, I was hoping that it was slightly over 500 pages and then I could read it for Tome Topple, but it's not. I picked up a copy of Heartstopper Volume 1 and Heartstopper Volume 2, both by Alice Oseman. This is a young adult graphic novel series about two boys falling in love, and it is absolutely adorable, and I cannot wait for Volume 3 to come out. Continuing my YA graphic novel trend, I also picked up Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. Everyone has been talking about this recently, but it is an adorable read as two friends who work in the same holiday job work their last shift together before they go off to college, and it has all the feelings. So I love this. It is adorable, and I have reviewed this recently, so you'll be able to see that on my channel. I'm not entirely sure if this next book is young adult or adult, or if it's perhaps new adult, so we'll just go with that. And that is The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett. I love Jen Bennett's contemporary books. I liked her urban fantasy series, and I really, really wanted to read this book because this has something to do with Vlad the Impaler, all the mystery around that, and I just really want to read it because I love Jen Bennett's work. Moving into the definitely adult category, I have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is her adult urban fantasy series set in Yale with magical societies. There are a lot of trigger warnings in this, including things for rape, violent crime, violence, blood and gore and all that sort of thing. So if you are not into that, steer clear of it. But it is a really interesting read, and for me, perhaps my favorite of her works over everything else. So this is one I will definitely be continuing on with when further books are released. I also picked up Archangel's War by Nalini Singh. This is book 12 in the Guild Hunter series. I love this series. It is about angels and vampires and vampire hunters and war between seriously overpowered creatures. What can I say? It's a delightful read. And this also happened. And by this I mean the Kate Daniels series, in which I have read all of the books in that series, and so I decided to buy them because I want to reread them in January, and I want to read them in physical form because I read them all on my Kindle. I actually had Magic Slayers already because I had to buy that because I couldn't get that on my Kindle. However, I bought the rest of the books. So you have Magic Bites, Magic Burns, Magic Strikes, Magic Bleeds, Magic Rises, Magic Breaks, Magic Shifts, Magic Binds, Magic Triumphs, and Gunmetal Magic. All by Alona Andrews. I love this series. I know at least 2 people, Kirsty and Leanne, who are probably laughing at me right now, but I did buy them all. And before anyone asks, yes, I am annoyed that I have the series and I've got like 3 completely different sizes of books. However, I'm also just grateful to have the series and to track down all of the books in physical copy so that I can have them. Although I think this is the most ridiculous copy because this is like insanely tall and skinny. It's like a mass market paperback that got stretched, but whatever. I can deal with that because now I have the series. So those are all the books that I picked up in October. Even though I bought a lot of them, I am very grateful that I have actually read the majority of them and that I'm 10 of the books I'm just collecting because I wanted a series. In the comments below, let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're planning on reading any of them and what your thoughts are on any of them. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.